This is how you can easily sideload games on your Meta Quest 3 by using SideQuest so that you can start playing some awesome VR titles completely for free. And on top of that, this will also give you access to a huge library of VR experiences that aren't even available on the official Meta store page. So let's dive right into it. And starting it off with the first step is that we have to turn on the so-called developer mode. Now, to be able to do this, you will need to have a computer as well as a phone with the Meta Horizon app on it. But don't worry, after the initial setup is complete, you won't be needing either of them at all. So, on your PC, you want to head over to the official website named developers.meta.com/horizon. And here, you want to log in with your Meta account. Although, just make sure that it is the same one that you also use for your Quest itself. And once you're logged in, depending on your region, you might also have to verify yourself by using either of the displayed methods that you see on screen. And for most of you, the two-factor authentication will probably be the quickest. Now, once this is complete, you can click on the next button, which will bring you to the naming page. And don't worry, you don't actually need to have an organization to be able to complete this. So instead, just choose any name of your choosing that is still available and make sure to check the I understand box before pressing submit. Now after that, click once more on I agree in the pop-up and submit it again. And with that, you have now unlocked developer mode. However, we do still have to turn it on. So to do this, head over to your phone and go into the Horizon app. And once here, you want to click on the three-striped icon in the top left corner and then on devices while making sure that you select the Quest that you're currently using. However, if you're not able to go into the headset settings from here, then the most likely cause is because your headset is still turned off. But once you started it up, go into the settings and click on the new developer mode tab. With all that is left to do is just toggle it on from within this. Now, it is important to double check that your developer mode has been properly enabled. So to make sure of this, put on your headset and go into your settings. And if done correctly, you should now see a new developer tag among the menu options. But if that is not the case, then you will most likely have to restart your headset once completely before it will actually show up. And with that out of the way, we can move on to step number 2, which is installing SideQuest. And this can be done with two different methods. Now firstly, go to the official SideQuest website and click on Get SideQuest. And in here, you will directly find the previously mentioned two possibilities, which are the SideQuest VR app and the SideQuest desktop application. Now, do keep in mind that the SideQuest VR app is by far the easiest and quickest way to get this entire thing running on your headset, because all that you have to do is just simply download it once to your Quest from your web browser, after which you'll be able to always use it from inside of VR, and that without the need of a PC afterwards at all. And that almost makes it feel like this gives you an extra second store page for you to install some free games from. However, the downside is that it is sadly also much more limited in functionalities compared to the other desktop version, since with this one, besides just sideloading, you can increase the resolutions of your games as well, or even install any APK or Android application onto it. So, if you have a PC laying around, then this option is highly recommended. And to install it, you want to make sure to download the correct version of the desktop app, since besides just Windows, they also luckily have a Mac and Linux version. And while the download is in progress, it is also good to already log in onto your Quest account in the meantime, since you will need this for later. But if you don't have one yet, then you can still easily create one now in the bottom left corner. But moving on, once the download is complete, open it up and you will be instantly greeted with a similar looking screen, but now running from within the official SideQuest application. However, at this moment, you will probably also notice the red dot in the top left corner, and this indicates that your headset isn't properly paired to your PC yet. So grab any USB-C cable and connect your Quest to your computer. And once done, put your headset back on, and you will now most likely see a pop-up window asking to allow the so-called USB debugging and access to data. But after that, then this red or orange dot should now finally turn green. Although, if for whatever reason it is not, then you can still click on it and see what the exact problem is. But with that done, we can finally move to step 3, and that is starting to sideload some free VR games. However, before we get into that, let's first have a quick word from the company that made this video possible. Because none other than Cat VR, who are known for creating VR treadmills that look like they come straight out of Ready Player One, are once again taking virtual reality to the next level. Because while we are normally limited by the boundary system inside our VR experiences, it is Cat VR that has created these VR treadmills that let you run and jump without any limitation. And since their most recent version, which is known as the C2 Plus Enhanced, is compatible with every VR headset that you can think of, it is also often considered as the dream upgrade for any VR user. And they even go so far that it has things like haptic feedback built into it, as well as a vehicle hub, which will make it feel even more realistic when you're racing on a track or flying through the sky. And as a cherry on top, you can also use the code VRelity for a whopping $130 off on your entire purchase. So for those who are interested, I'll leave a link in the description below. And that gets us to step number 3, which is finally sideloading those VR games. Now, in the SideQuest app on your computer, you can go to the Apps and Games tab on the left-hand side and browse to its massive list of options that you can choose from. And of course, you can also choose to select a bunch of different filters in here, such as SideQuest only games, which aren't normally available on Meta's own store page, or even full-on game ports that you normally wouldn't even be able to play in virtual reality at all. Think about games like Doom and Half-Life, and even Minecraft. Now, it is also important to note that you might find the tab called Custom Homes in here, and beforehand, these made it possible for you to switch out the built-in Quest backgrounds for something much more personalized. However, with Meta's implementation of the New Horizon home system, this is not possible any longer. But getting back to the games, when you finally found the game that you want, then you can click on it to get some more information about them, such as game trailers and reviews. But once you finally made up your mind, then you can click once more on the sideload button, and then it will automatically start installing onto your headset. However, one big thing that a lot of people are struggling with after this is that once the download is complete, they seem to not be able to find their installed games in their library at all. So if that is the case for you, then you want to make sure to click on the 3-striped icon inside your Quest menu. And here, click on the tab named Unknown Sources, where you will find all the experiences that you just have downloaded. And to start playing them, just select the one you want, and it will boot up directly. But besides this just giving you access to an insanely big library of VR games, you can also do some other awesome things with SideQuest that you would otherwise completely miss out on. And probably the most important of those things is increasing the resolution of your headset itself. So to do this, click on the wrench icon in the top right corner to open up the quality and performance page. And from here, you will have a bunch of cool options that you can increase, with the most significant one being the default texture size. And if you crank this all the way up to the max, then your graphics are now gonna look a lot more sharp. And on top of that, you can also choose to up the refresh rate in here to a max of 120 Hz, so that your games will start to run as smooth as butter. And the second thing is that thanks to the desktop version, you can also start to install APKs for any Android application that you can think of. So for example, if you downloaded the APK file for Discord, then you can install this on your headset and run your Android application natively inside your Quest. So that is pretty damn cool. And all these functions are just scratching the surface of the cool things that you can unlock within here. But that is not all. Because now that you have SideQuest running on your headset, you also need to know about the best VR games that you can find on here. So click on the video that you see on screen right now to make sure you don't miss out on that. And of course, stay awesome.